everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel BMB Daily Spoiler. You won't believe your eyes. What are Eric and Katie really planning? And how will Brooke and Reese react to this jaw-dropping twist?
Brooke and Ridge are blindsided by Eric and Katie. Bold and the beautiful spoilers. Ridge, you're up early. Brooke, I couldn't sleep. Thought I'd steal a few hours with the new collection. Ridge, smiling. Perfect. We need to discuss the launch timeline. They fall into easy banter. Ridge is about to hand a cloth-covered swatch to Brooke when the atrium door. Eric Forrester, late 70s, proud, sharper than his age, and Katie Logan, early 60s, warm, steel beneath, step through arm in arm. They look different, not simply walking in to run errands. They are together in a way that suggests intention. Coordinated, sure-footed, and, crucially, deliberate. Brooke's smile falters. Brooke, soft. Eric, Katie? Eric, Brooke, Ridge, Katie, cheerful but matter-of-fact. Good morning. We were in the neighborhood and thought we'd stop by. Brooke's eyes flick between them, then to Ridge. Something arrives in the air, curiosity edged with unease. Smash cut to title card. The bold and the beautiful. Forrester Creations, Executive Office, moments later. A meeting. The four sit around a circular table. Brooke's fingers drum lightly. Brooke, to Eric. You're unusually chipper, Eric. Everything okay? Eric, smiles too steady. Everything's more than okay. Katie and I have had some time to talk. We've come to a decision. Ridge perks up, an architect of future plans. Ridge, decision about. Katie takes a breath. She looks at Eric for a moment, then at Brooke. Katie, we've decided to take over Forrester Charitable, the foundation Eric started. We think it's time it had a real home at Forrester Creations. Brooke, pleased, unsuspecting. That's wonderful. The foundation deserves attention. Eric, it's more than a rebrand. We want to embed philanthropy into the company structure. A Forrester Foundation wing, with a seat on the board, with programs tied to education and sustainable fashion. Ridge nods, intrigued, but Brooke's smile tightens. Something else is coming. Katie, soft. And we want Ridge to be the chairman of the new philanthropic board. Ridge, taken aback, chuffed. Me? Chair? That's an honor. Brooke looks at Ridge, a flash of pride. But Eric's next words loosen the room. Eric, there's another part. We're asking that Forrester Creations donate a permanent minority stake to the foundation. Shares that will be held in trust to preserve the company's mission. A quiet ripple. Ridge's brow knits. Ridge, you're talking about equity. That's a serious move. Why now? Katie, because Eric and I want the company preserved beyond the boardroom noise. We don't want Forrester to be a commodity. We want it to be a purpose. Brooke's mouth goes dry. Ridge sets his jaw. Brooke, how minority? Eric, 10%. Non-voting stock at first. It's symbolic but meaningful. Ridge studies Eric. He knows the Forrester name. He knows legacy. There's a polite pause until Katie's next sentence lands like a small earthquake. Katie, we also want the foundation to have a voice in executive appointments. Brooke exhales. Ridge is no longer just intrigued. Hedge alert is on. Ridge, trying to smile. I'm honored you think of me. But you're really asking to insert governance into Forrester Creations. Eric, we feel the company needs a tether to its founding values. We're offering the tether. Brooke, under her breath, to Ridge. They're not bringing this in as a gift. There'll be strings. Ridge shoots her a look, signaling. Do not speak yet. Katie, we want to formalize this next week. A charity gala, announced as a foundation initiative, with the Forrester stake transfer and the board position for Ridge. We'll make it elegant. No drama. Pure purpose. Brooke stands, hands clenched. She's not yet angry, just surprised in a place that grows suspicious. Brooke, you don't make moves like this without talking to Ridge and me first. Eric shrugs, innocently strategic. Eric, life's short, Brooke. We did talk, quietly, but we thought putting on the table would be better than endless conversation. Ridge's jaw tightens. He tries to stay gracious. Ridge, we'll need to consult legal and the board as a matter of corporate governance. Eric, of course. They stand. Katie steps closer to Brooke, gentle. Katie, Brooke, we're trying to secure Forrester's future. We thought you would see this as support, not a takeover. Brooke's face is a study in predatory calm. Brooke, to herself, just loud enough. We'll see. Forrester design floor, later. Ridge and Brooke walk among sketches. Ridge tries to hide his irritation. Brooke's mind is racing. Ridge, quiet. 10%? A seat at the table? Having the foundation with appointment power changes the board's balance. Brooke, you knew Eric might have ideas, but this is bold. And Katie's never been subtle. Ridge, did you get the sense they were aligned for something else? I mean, why the gala and the timing? Brooke, suspicious. Because you're in the middle of a deal with a big investor. Maybe they want a seat in that process, or to complicate it. Ridge, we'll talk to the board. Brooke, we should talk to Eric and Katie again. Now, they exchange a look. The hunter has been sniffed. They move to act. Eric's living room. Forrester estate. Evening. The room glows. Eric pours wine. Katie sits, translucent with conviction. Brooke and Ridge arrive, forceful in their own way. Brooke, straight to the point. We want to understand the foundation's stake more clearly and why you felt you had to spring this on us. Eric, sincere. We didn't want to involve the board in family disputes. We wanted to present a plan that would be hard to refuse. Ridge, hard to refuse how? You're offering shares that would effectively create a new power structure. Eric, we're not trying to upset the board. We're trying to secure Forrester's soul. Brooke, cuts both ways, Eric. You can't take a part of this and claim it's for the company while securing influence for yourselves. Katie stands leaning in. Katie, Brooke, we're old. We've had our bruises. We've earned this. We love this company. We want to be sure it doesn't drift into something unfamiliar. Brooke, and you think a 10% stake solves it? Ridge, leaning forward. You don't have the authority to gift shares without board approval. The legal path is one thing. The politics are another. Eric, we're prepared for both. Brooke's temper, slow burn, ignites. Brooke, this isn't just about governance, Ridge. Eric always thinks long view. But the long view doesn't get to be a unilateral decision. If you want the board to trust a foundation, bring the board in. Don't corner us in the name of values. Katie reaches out and touches Brooke's hand. Katie, Brooke, please. This was meant as a gesture. Brooke pulls her hand back, stone calm. Brooke, a gesture that affects shareholders without prior notice is a declaration. Silence. The room is heavy. Ridge exhales. Ridge, then let's table this for a board meeting. We'll review legal, tax consequences, and the wording of any charter. We'll be transparent. Eric, graciously, we'll schedule it. Katie, softly, to Brooke, we didn't want to upset you. Brooke smiles like a smile that will be remembered. Brooke, you did. Forrester conference room, night later. Ridge, Brooke, and a small group of senior designers cluster over legal pads. The mood, battle planning. Thomas stops by, sensing tension. Thomas, you two all right? Brooke, we're surprised. Thomas, curious. Eric and Katie, they're old school. Maybe they want to be helpful. Ridge, helpful with 10% and a voice in appointments is something else. Thomas, you should talk to them. Hear them out. Brooke, we will, but we won't be blindsided. Forrester Ballroom, night, 1 week later. A glittering gala. The Forrester Foundation launch, as Eric and Katie announced. Chandelier light, champagne, a program that announces the Foundation's mission and the Forrester Pledge. Cameras flash. The board sits on a reserved table. Ridge and Brooke in a cocoon of polite smiles. On stage, Eric speaks, charismatic and warm. Eric, tonight we celebrate a company with heart. We celebrate the future. Applause. Katie beams. Behind the applause, Ridge watches like a captain at the helm of a ship with a sudden new sail. Stage, later. Eric steps down and approaches the board table, stopping at Ridge. He places a small folder in front of him. Subtle, but a public gesture. Eric, quiet, public. Inside is the charter. We've drafted language to limit the foundation role to stewardship and advisory only. We didn't want to surprise you with corporate entanglements. Ridge opens the folder. The charter looks neat, constraining the foundation's influence, a diplomat's work. Ridge, reading, advisory capacity only. Non-voting trustee. Tax code compliance. That seems restrained. Eric, we wanted to be transparent. But Katie and I felt it necessary to act before the board's summer stagnation. Brooke, to Eric, sharp, you acted without consulting us. Eric, we consulted those who matter. Brooke's face says, who decides who matters? Suddenly, a reporter raises a microphone. Reporter, Mr. Forrester, there are rumors the foundation stake was financed by an anonymous donor to secure influence. Any comment? The room hushes. Eric's smile remains intact, practiced. Eric, no comment beyond what we announced tonight. The reporter persists, but Ridge swoops into diffuse. Ridge, we appreciate the energy tonight. We'll follow the legal process. Later, in a quieter corner, Brooke pulls Katie aside. Brooke, soft. Katie, this could destabilize us if people think you're buying influence. Katie, I didn't buy anything. Eric and I put in what we could. We just want Forrester to keep its soul. Brooke, and what if your idea of soul differs from mine? Katie looks at Brooke without flinching. Katie, then we'll argue as neighbors, wives, and friends. But I won't see Forrester lose sight. Brooke's jaw eases. They sip champagne. The conversation is both truce and new map. Forrester boardroom, day, 1 month later. An official board meeting. Lawyers present. The foundation charter on the projector. The vote. Whether to accept the foundation, the shares, and the charter parameters. Jackie, board counsel, outlines tax implications. A Forrester board member presses for clarity. Board member, what stops the foundation from becoming politicized and gaining voting power? Eric, earnest in the room. The charter. Trustees chosen in a transparent way. Ridge is chair to ensure continuity. Brooke watches Ridge as he listens. He hesitates, then leans to her and whispers, Ridge, this is about the board and where we want Forrester to go. If we accept it with safeguards, maybe we gain a partner. If we reject it, we play a different game. Brooke, quiet. If we accept, we must write the safeguards ourselves. Ridge nods. He stands and addresses the board. Ridge, I will accept the chair position under strict conditions. We draft the trustee nomination process jointly. The foundation will be advisory. The shares will be locked for a 10-year stewardship review. Transparency in financing is mandatory. Eric and Katie exchange a look, approval, maybe relief. Eric, agreed. The board votes. Unanimous, with a single abstention. Brooke notices the abstention. It's a junior shareholder with ties to an outside investor. A new wrinkle. Throughout the room, hands shake. Cameras wait outside like predators. The foundation is accepted, but not without constraints. Forrester evolves. Forrester lobby, late afternoon. Ridge and Brooke step into the light. The meeting finished. The storm appears to be weathered. People congratulate them. Ridge appears relieved. Brooke guardedly triumphant. Suddenly, Eric's assistant, Lucinda, rushes up with a tablet. Eric approaches, face drained. Eric, Ridge, Brooke, there's something you both need to see. Lucinda hands the tablet to Ridge. A confidential investor memo is displayed. An external party has quietly amassed a small but influential block of Forrester shares. The memo suggests they sought to partner with a philanthropic vehicle to influence strategic appointments. Ridge's face goes cold. Ridge, reading aloud. The acquisition will be leveraged through strategic counsel and philanthropic partnership placement. Brooke's breath hitches. She looks at Eric, then at Katie. Brooke, you said transparency in financing. Katie, quiet, flustered. We thought we were transparent. We vetted everyone we asked. We had no idea someone would clandestinely attach themselves. Eric, aghast. We were used. Brooke, incandescent. You offered a gift, and somebody used you to wedge themselves into our governance. Ridge straightens, fury controlled. Ridge, who are they? Eric, holding the tablet. I don't know the name yet, but the memo points to an investor group with ties to a rival label. We must assume they want influence. Brooke's eyes flash with fury and betrayal. Brooke, they used your kindness. They used Katie's heart. Eric, We must be careful, Ridge. We acted out of love for this company. We didn't intend to open any doors to opportunists. Ridge squares himself. This is not just a corporate fight now. It's betrayal in the family. Ridge. Then we close the door. We tighten the charter. We investigate every donor. We find who's pulling these strings. Brooke. And if we find they used you? Eric's jaw trembles. He looks smaller than his legacy. Katie reaches out and squeezes his hand. Katie, we'll make it right together. Brooke and Ridge exchange a look. They were blindsided by good intentions manipulated into a wedge strategy. A partnership meant to preserve legacy now smells like a knife in the back. Ridge, we'll hold a special board and investor meeting. No public statements until we know the full scope. We move carefully and we move fast. Eric nods, humbled and fierce. Eric, find him. Protect Forrester. And forgive me for the surprise, if nothing else. Brooke's face cracks into something like soft resolve. Brooke, we'll forgive you, Eric. But this town is always hungry. From now on, we sign everything with our eyes wide open. They stand together, 3 generations tethered by loyalty and hurt. Outside, the city buzzes, the gala lights dimming. Forrester's future glows uncertain.